Hello, everyone. This is Plague Doctor here again on the Breachers VRML, hosted by the VRML Network channel. Getting into an exciting matchup today with Wilted Rose versus 808. We haven't seen these two teams play against each other as far as I've seen. Yeah, we haven't seen them play against each other. 808 getting a bit of a late start to the season on a 2-win, 1-loss record. 20 rounds on Arctic, 21 on Ship, 24 on Factory, 21 on Hideout. Pretty good spread of stats in between. Wilted Rose has played 6 wins, 4 losses. We saw them play against Big Little Company or Bacon Lettuce Cheese, I believe, in a previous week. Factory, they've played 38 rounds, 71% win rate. If Factory is not banned, that will be looking pretty good for them. And looking at it, it looks like the two bans for today are Dam and Arctic. Dam has been a pretty good ban, I believe, for 808. Maybe they're confident they can get some rounds off on Factory. And I believe Arctic was banned by Wilted Rose, seeing as that is, it looks like on paper, 808's strongest map. Looks like we're going to be getting into this matchup relatively soon, but before we do, some predictions. I want to see some fantastic gunplay, some fantastic utility in these, I would say, lower-level gold, diamond matchups. Right now we have gold and bronze, it looks like. We don't see a lot of good utility sometimes. We don't see a good amount of nades. We don't see a good amount of incendiaries. We don't see a lot of fantastic gunplay. We see some good gunplay, but not at that higher level. So I want to see these teammates, these players make up for it by having some good play together. They want to play as a team, play in duos, play in trios. Don't just give the other team isolated 1v1s or 2v1s, 3v1s and above. You don't want to give the other team picks, because that is your downfall. Letting these teams know that I'm ready to start whenever they are. Another solo cast here on the VRML Network channel, but I'm all for it. We have some new casters coming in for our league over on Orion Drift VRML. I want you to give some love to them if you see them casting at some point. We're going to have the Pioneer Cup for Orion Drift as well coming up on this weekend, so if you want to get into that, you can go ahead and, find out, get a team on there, and get working on getting your skill up for it. It's going to be really exciting. Con, again, 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be an exciting game. We have multiple stages. We're going to be having multiple things for Con. They're going to be super exciting to watch and just to play for any team who participates. Overall, $20,000 prize pool. That is a lot of money. 5 different leagues, $20,000 prize pool, $5,000 on the line for Breachers, Vale, Pavlov, and Orion Drift. Orion Drift is going to have the top 16 teams on stage so far. It's going to be a very, very exciting event. I hope to see you all there. I'll certainly be there, and so will quite a few others. It's going to be a really exciting thing to do. I hope you all join us. Looks like we do have side changes coming up. We're just waiting on one last player over on 808, I believe. All of the Rose players are attending. Just waiting on the last player. Map vote coming in soon. It's going to be exciting to see how these players work out. Wilted Rose, on paper, set to win this matchup. They're above in the leaderboard. They're above in rank. But I don't know if they're above in skill. We'll have to see. We saw them face off against, I believe, BLC. That worked out relatively well for them. Now we're heading on to our first map of the matchup, which is going to be Hideout. Hideout is going to be an interesting map for both of these teams, but especially for Wilted Rose. They have a pretty good win rate on Hideout so far. I'm surprised to not see the Factory pick first option, honestly. Last 808 member coming in, Big Mac in. Now, on both teams, Wilted Rose, we have Mania, Arashi, Yuji, Sokka, and Akatsu. Over on 808, we have Aeronites, Kites, Bernardo, Rancho, and Big Mac, trying to represent their teams. I want to talk about the economy on both teams here on Pistol Round. Typically, on higher level teams, we would see Spectrals, we would see maybe a Taurus, but it's not that often. But here, we're seeing a Cyclone in the hands of Arashi, trying to put some good work in with it. Honestly, one of the guns that we see quite a bit as well in this lower level play. Not a lot in upper level. People just can't get away from Spectral at that point. But here in the gold diamond matches, Spectrals and Cyclones can both put in fantastic work. Getting into first round of our first map, seeing the defense from these 808 players. Kites and Bernardo both holding down storage. They do have a prox up just in case. Wall gets blown and door gets opened up. Kites and Bernardo trying to hold down the wall opening. B point being held pretty stoutly by the 808 team. They're not leaving it up to chance. Nade goes out. Bernardo nearly blowing himself up, but Sokka will get a nade too, so he pushes around. Takes out Bernardo. Tries to take out Kites as Kites takes out Mania. Kites stuck in the corner, gets taken out. Sokka looks to push in on these players. Ready on the wall as Arrow Knights and Rancho try to hold it out. We do see Big Mac going around for the flank. Will he get there in time? As with EMP is down, Rancho stuck behind the box. However, Big Mac is coming up for the big flank. Yuji and Rancho do take out one. Yuji finishes it out with a kill on Big Mac, and that will give Wilted Rose their first round on Hideout. Well done to both these teams, especially to Wilted Rose for getting that round. They went down a few players, especially with the flank, but they got it off in the end. Yuji finishing it out with a 3K. We had 2 kills from Rancho, Kites, and Big Mac, both picking up 1. Well done overall. I want to see if we can get some fantastic plays out from 808 as well. We don't want to see a one-sided match, obviously. That's not something that is typically fun to watch for anyone, but especially on the spectating side, as casters looking for some big plays and things like that. So I hope that we get some good plays. Top floor Hideout is the place to have it. A lot of utility that you can use, a lot of areas that you can peek out, especially with the EMP denial. If the enemy team goes for the plant onto the A chair, typically that is where people plant, you're going to see a lot of utility being dumped, and that's where you see these incendiaries and grenades shine. You need to dump utility on the EMP plant, and right now I'm seeing a concerning lack of throwable utility on 808. We do see a incendiary, we do see a frag and a smoke. However, not much else. They're going to have to deny that EMP plant manually. It's a bit of a change in pace from the last time we saw Wilted Rose on Hideout, where BLC had all of the utility they could really want because they were getting some rounds off. Looks like we do have a meta push forming up for the Wilted Rose stack going towards a wall. Nade goes out to take out the static that will also give these 808 players some indication that a push is likely. Kites looking to get up on the box. Rancho now behind the bomb. May get peeked out by Mania. Kites almost gets instant out. Smoke goes out to block off viewpoint, but Rancho gets smoked out in return. Arashi going to put down the plant. Hopefully he gets defended. No one defends him in time. He gets taken down. Nade goes out to defend the EMP plant. As Kites gets up on the box, he's going to be in prime position to deny a run out from this planter. Sokka taking out one, but Mania stuck in the incendiary. Tries to take out one before he does. Now it's just Yuji and Akatsu who are trying to hold down the EMP plant. 45 seconds on the clock for the EMP as EMP defuse starts. Yuji gets taken out. Big Mac just sticking to the plant, and it looks like Akatsu is just not fast enough to just deny this plant. And that will leave 808 1-1 against Wilted Rose, which is a good round pickup. Akatsu almost gets taken out as well. He goes directly in front of the window, goes to swing in, does not get taken out. Unfortunate round for Wilted Rose. They had the EMP down on the chair, but they just didn't defend their planter well enough. And with that incendiary taking one out, and then Arrow Knights getting another down when they were trying to escape the point, just didn't work out for Wilted Rose. Now, looking at the economy. Wilted Rose now at 1-1. They aren't as far ahead as they would like to be, most likely. Typically, you see teams when they are in these rounds, they want to get pistol round, but more importantly, I would say, is the round after. If you don't get the round after pistol round, you can't start running away with your economy. You can't start snowballing as easily. You have to be a lot more careful with what you buy. If you get both rounds, you get a ton of money. You can get rifles. You can get a little outrageous with your SMGs or utility buys. Speaking of utility buys, I still don't see a lot from these 808 players. We do see a clone from Big Mac, some defensive utility from these players, but only a frag and incendiary over all of them in order to defend the plant. We'll see a pre-nade onto garage, I believe, from Kites over on 808 as the door opens up. Kites puts the nade away, throws it out. Will go straight to Yuji's feet, but it does not take him out. That is some hits. Get some good wall bangs if they're not careful. Mania trying to take out Bernardo. Both players trading some bullets, but don't quite take each other out. Bernardo is still stuck upstairs, may try to roam down as soon as Mania tries to push up to him. Mania does have a Marui. It might benefit him more to push in with his team. Looks like they do trade out guns because he is relatively low. Yuji taking up the Marui for his team as the B wall blows into garage. Big Mac stuck behind the countertop with his clone. His clone does get shot a little bit. Yuji shoots at the clone, gives Big Mac some time, but Yuji takes out one as Mania takes out Bernardo on the back line. Mania now up on the roof, now inside on second floor. May go for the hatch as Aeronites, Kites, and Rancho all try to hold down B. Akatsu has EMP, may try to push in. Most likely might get hit by Rancho as he tries to push in. Aeronites trying to get another kill down as Rancho gets pretty low, but takes out the EMP planter. Wall blows as Sokka is around towards Laundry. These players need to get into point. Minute left on the clock. Aeronites is in a prime spot to deny this EMP plant, but Mania takes out Rancho. That leaves now a 1v4 as Kites is alone. Takes out one, trying to push up and take out another. EMP is down. He has 45 seconds left on the clock to get a clutch kill. Pushes up, takes out Sokka. That's the Marui down. Mania picks it back up, I believe. Gets seen from Laundry. Doesn't quite get taken out, but it leaves him low on health. Getting some isolated 1v1s, but pushes out just far enough to get seen by the player up on box. That will give Wilted Rose their second round of Hideout. Well done to the Wilted Rose stack. Managing to get some good kills off. Same with the 808 stack, but Wilted Rose just showed, they still have some good skill when it comes to trying to push in on the other side. And now they have a good bit of economy, good bit of utility. However, because of the 1-to-1, 808 still has fantastic economy to go off of because of, one, their saves on utility, but two, they've lost 2 rounds, so they get that loss increase in money. We're now seeing Wilted Rose push up to the roof, maybe trying to go for the hatch. A bottom floor roam from Bernardo may work out. We'll see if the droning from Wilted Rose can catch him in the act. As we do have Sokka holding a drone, may get another drone in addition. We'll see if Wilted Rose can get this off. We've seen them waste a little bit of time when they're trying to come in, somewhat running out of time when they try to go through. So we'll see if they can fix those issues. Big Mac waiting in B. Bernardo still downstairs. Hatch does blow over B, but most teams don't pay it much mind. Mania and Yuji going for the basement to top floor roam, checking all of their corners if they can. They may still get surprised if Bernardo rotates around at an opportune time. Big Mac still waiting at B point, most likely hears the drone, as well as the footsteps up on roof as Akatsu goes for the skylight. Big Mac pushes around towards the back of the bomb. Rancho pushes up, may go outside the door, which will be seen by Mania and Yuji. Yuji definitely seeing the door blocker go down for just a second. Checking their corners. Sokka does see the flank in time on Bernardo. Takes him down, almost. 808 having a good defense on these walls, trying to figure out where they can go that they won't get shot from some crossfire. Akatsu does take out Aeronites in the connector, however, he does get refragged. Almost. Big Mac ready on the wall breach, may get seen by Mania. Mania does take out Big Mac. Arashi is relatively low, but that means he can get a good plant off in the back of the point if his team can cover him. Bernardo looks to push up the stairs. Hopefully there's going to be a flank watch from this Wilted Rose stack as Arashi gets the EMP down. 3v5 for these 808 players. Bernardo pushing upstairs. Yuji ready on the back line as Rancho pushes in, takes out Sokka. Looks to push out in the hall, takes out another. Bernardo pushes up the stairs. It's Bernardo now gets taken down. It's just Kites who gets taken out by Mania on the wall. That is 3-1 on the Wilted Rose stack. I taking a look at the scoreboard so far. 7-2 on Mania, 6-2 on Yuji Itadori, 6-4 on Rancho. Some good front runners for these two teams. And they continue. 808 needs to get some rounds off if they don't want to go into the switch down on points, or down on rounds, rather. So if they can just get one more or two more, they can go up to, 3-3, have a good tie situation, or at least have a good clean slate to go into their offensive rounds on. If they do keep going down rounds, that's going to be very beneficial for Wilted Rose. That'll guarantee them some more rounds in the future and possibly get them to OT if they can get enough. So far, Yuji getting a clone for his team, which is somewhat odd on offense, but possibly they're going to set it up on the bench when they get into garage. 808, understandably, going for more of a garage hold. Aeronite's waiting inside Kites as well. May throw a nade out as he is holding a frag. Not a lot of throwables on this 808 squad again. They're just holding down a single frag, which they're going to use immediately on the garage door, which might not work out for them, as they're not going to have anything to deny the plant utility-wise. They're going to have to do it all manually through gunplay. Bernardo waiting upstairs. Aeronites may see one outside the front door. Pushes back into point. Kites going for the pre-nade. Does get it off the door. Does hit Akatsu, but doesn't take him down. That is the only bit of throwable utility down for this 808 squad. Bernardo on the lean peak. Misses Mania coming in the door. However, he is on the back line, and so he is not going to be seen by Mania either. Arashi may get taken down if he's not careful. Flank watch by these Wilted Rose players. Will hopefully be strong enough to take him down. Wall is foamed from these Wilted Rose players as Sokka and Mania are ready to push in. Aeronites and Kites both inside the point as Rancho is in laundry. May get seen, but does try to take out one. Takes out Rancho. Rancho takes out Mania, sorry, as Kites takes out Arashi. Rancho takes out Sokka as well as he gets pushed up on. Now a 2v5, and Bernardo's on the flank. Takes out one, tries to take out another, but gets taken out by Yuji. It is a 1v4 for Yuji Itadori, trying to take down the rest of these players. Takes down Rancho. Tries to take out Aeronites, but gets taken out by some fantastic Omen shots from Aeronites. That is going to bring 808 for their second round on Hideout. 2-3. Not a bad situation to be in, and a thrifty round, which means they are going to be able to pick up a good few rifles from the enemy team, be able to get as much utility as they really want. Hopefully, they pick up all of their nades, unlike these previous rounds. Hopefully, they can get all the utility they want and get a lot of rounds down. It's going to be exciting to see if they can. Now, it is bottom floor, last round before switch. It's going to be interesting to see if Wilted Rose can get this round off. We're seeing a good amount of clones, good amount of utility from them. They are going for a full buy, same as 808. Both teams having relatively even economy, other than 808 picking up the rifles from Wilted Rose's bodies last time. Sokka holding onto a drone. It's going to come down to the utility and gunplay from these two teams. Wilted Rose definitely going to be going for a B push, but Bernardo is going to be a thorn on their side up on garage if Akatsu does choose to go into garage. Bernardo may try to go just push out and take out the rest of these players. Waiting on garage for the door to open up. He knows there's some players near garage. He may get droned out immediately. Bernardo gets droned out immediately, decides to push back towards the hatch rather than staying there. Katsu pushing in. Not sure where Bernardo is as Yuji pushes down the stairs. Uncontested until that prox goes off. He did have a cloak, but it ran out just in time for the prox to go off. Bernardo simply just waiting. Katsu. Hopefully Katsu checks his corner if he does enter in the doorway. Bernardo just waiting, biding his time as he hears hatch blow. He goes to push out. While still crouching, Akatsu is watching their backline, but not soon enough. Checks it out. Doesn't see Bernardo. Still doesn't see Bernardo. Bernardo's up on the hatch. Going for the flank as Kites takes out Akatsu on his hatch drop. Bernardo hoping to flank out these players as Yuji gets pushed in on. Yuji gets taken down. Incen goes out, but unfortunately on top of the box, bringing this to a 2v2 health advantage belonging to this 808 squad. Bernardo pushing back into the back line as Mania pushes up with EMP. Bernardo Hopefully checks into storage. Mania going for the plant. Sokka pushing out, has his gun down, gets taken out by Bernardo, and it's just Mania against an 808 2-stack. Hoping to enter in through storage, may get seen by Bernardo as he waits in the corner. Just needs to pick a good time. Bernardo gets seen. Now it's just Big Mac. Big Mac needs to play time. He knows where EMP is. He can wait for the plant sound. If he gets too overly aggressive, it might not work out for him. He gets seen. Does have a stim, so does stim up. Big Mac behind the box still. Does take out Mania. A good head tap. Leaving 808 now up. 3-3. Even matchup. Clean slate. Rotating onto offense. Well done to the 808 stack. Wilted Rose, unfortunately, just losing out rifle play. The gunplay on 808 seems to go relatively well for them so far. We're now seeing Spectrals over on the 808 side, as well as a Cyclone still in the hands of Arashi. A lot of utility coming out on the Wilted Rose side here on the first round of the switch. Meanwhile, we have not a ton of utility over on the 808 side. We do have a foam, we do have a clone, sorry, we do have a drone. Actually, we do see a good amount of utility. We see a smoke, an incendiary, and a frag. A good spread of utility for these teams, which will allow them to pick up a good amount of kills, or at least a good amount of information that they couldn't have before when they were on defense. Most likely it's going to be just a standard garage push from this 808 team. We see Mania and Yuji both holding garage. We'll see how the offense from 808 handles this two-person hold. Aaronites might open up the door as Mania goes for an incendiary onto the doorway. A bit early. It will give them some cover as Bernardo pushes in on to Laundry. He nearly gets wall banged out. Big Mac takes out Yuji on the front door. Now, that is immediately 2 Rose players down, which is rough, as 808 is only down a little bit of health, not full players. Rashi behind the bomb. Akatsu behind the island. Sokka checking A just in case. They might hear the rotate. Nade goes out behind the countertop. Does not take out Arashi. Arashi is stuck behind the bomb as both walls blow. Getting seen. Aaronites now inside the point. Big Mac hoping to rotate in after him with EMP. EMP starts to go down as Aaronites takes out one. Sokka is taken out by Rancho. It is just Akatsu. He's getting play spaced out. A surrender from Aaronites was an interesting play. But regardless, we do see 808 on their first offensive round now picking up their first round. Now they're up rather than down. It's a good situation to be in. And also they're going to have a good amount of economy. It's not unplayable or unwinnable for Wilted Rose just yet. If they can get this first round, we'll be back to where we started. Evened up with even economy. If 808 can get this round off with the omens that they can buy with their improved economy, it's going to be rough for Wilted Rose to continue on the way they have been. Currently, they've been going for some bigger buys. They've been going for all the utility they can. We're seeing a bit of a difference in opinion sometimes from these teams. Wilted Rose had a lot of utility on offense. They just did not have a lot on defense so far. Meanwhile, 808 had almost no utility for a lot of their defensive rounds. When it comes to offense, they're getting everything they can. And a Taurus from Big Mac is an interesting pick. Not quite sure if that'll work out, but I hope for him it does. Hatch looks to be getting ready to blow from the 808 stack. Possibly a B push. There's a lot of players up near Hatch. Could work out, honestly. 2 players on B, 2 on A. Live droning out Arashi on the bottom floor will allow 808 to not get caught off guard by the downstairs roam, and will allow them to isolate Arashi as well. Arashi is now stuck in the corner unless he can take out the player who's watching him, which allows them to be an isolated kill. That is Rancho taking out one. Big Mac taking out Sokka, getting the refrag for his teammate, not going down any health. 4 versus 3 for the 808 stack. Rancho Verde is down to 5 health. However, there is a stim on Aaronites, which will bring them up to 4 versus 3 health-wise. And there's an incendiary and a frag on the body of Kites, which would be a great pickup as well. Wall about to blow for these 808 players as Wilted Rose gets their positions. One behind the bathtub, one in the toilet. Almost gets pushed out by that nade. Ensign goes out as well. Wall goes down. Yuji behind the bathtub, waiting with a nade just in case the EMP starts going down. EMP gets tossed. Rancho will probably hear this nade go out. Yeah, Insen will take him down. It's a good pickup for the 808. Sorry, for the Wilted Rose players, bringing it to 3 versus 3. Yuji has a second incendiary as well. He accidentally throws it out and loses it. It's a rough loss for the Wilted Rose players as Bernardo pushes in uncontested. EMP going down. Aeronites and Big Mac defending him, but Aeronites gets taken down by Mania. Big Mac takes down Akatsu. Yuji pushing through the smoke. Bernardo needs to watch that EMP as Yuji is on it. Yuji pushes out, takes down Big Mac. Bernardo pushes in, takes down Yuji. Mania in the smoke. Mania play spaces him out, and that'll bring Wilted Rose to 4-4. Some great play spacing from these players, and Mania clutches it up in order to bring it to 4-4, evening up the economy again. No front runners so far. Now, evened up, Wilted Rose and 808 both have had some rough rounds and have had some great rounds. Economy, relatively even. However, difference in strategy. 808 are going for a full buy as much as they can. Wilted Rose are not really. They could go for more rifles. They could go for an Aril on Sokka. They could go for possibly a Vezin or Marui on Yuji. They're deciding to go for an SMG save, and that's kind of the gamble you have to go for. 808 knows the state of their economy. If you don't know, you can see the other team's current money at the beginning of the round. So you can see how much they have. You can guess how much they'll buy. So 808 is betting that Rose will not buy up, and so they can use their superior firepower to get this off. Pre-nade from Sokka may see him get taken down immediately as Aeronites and Rancho are both watching it. Peeks out, gets taken out, nade goes out. Does not take anyone down. No hits either. Arashi peeks out, takes down one before getting taken down. Bit of a rough, honestly. If your teammate gets taken out on the 3rd floor, I don't know. That's already 2 people down for Wilted Rose. That leaves 808 in a fantastic position. They're down a player. However, they're still up a player over Wilted Rose. Double drone from these Wilted Rose players. Sorry, from these 808 players onto the Wilted Rose folks. Wall blows as Mania is stuck inside. Little cubby. Kaidi's pushing back towards the wall. Bernardo checking. Ooh, may get shot by Yuji, but Yuji decides not to open up the A window. Pre-fire from Mania will not find anyone as Static goes down. The flank from Yuji Itadori. Hopefully, we do see the flank watch. Akatsu takes out one, gets shot quite a bit as Yuji peeks in from the wall breach. 3v2. Health favoring 808 as well as players favoring 808. However, we do have a sneaky backline push that may take out Aeronites if they're not careful. Yuji just waiting on the wall breach for the EMP to start going down. EMP now starts going down. Yuji rotating around. Will take out Aeronites. EMP is now down as Bernardo tries to push out. Yuji pushing in, takes down Bernardo, but Rancho takes down. Smoke goes down, leaving Yuji blind as to where Rancho is. Yuji picks up a Vezin. That's going to be a fantastic pickup. Vezin versus Vezin. Rancho hearing the footsteps. They both trade places, but Rancho manages to find the pick in the smoke. That brings 808 now up around again. 5 versus 4 in this matchup. Bringing up the scoreboard, we're seeing 13-7 from Rancho Verde, 13-7 from Yuji as well. Pretty equal overall. I want to see how this match ends up. 5 versus 4. Oh, I don't know. What are we thinking here, folks? On paper. On paper, it seems like Wilted Rose should win this. They're up on ranks. They were up on percentage on this map, I believe. However, 808 has put out a good showing so far. Once they get some good rifles in their hands, or at least some good SMGs, some good team play, we're seeing them work out well. And that's overall what's been happening so far. Wilted Rose going for some plays, but 808 has good team play so far, which is I wanted to see. They're getting refrags. They're pushing in together. They're not going in isolated. Not to say Wilted Rose hasn't. but I've seen it a lot from 808 so far. B hatch going to be blowing soon as Arashi is on a downstairs roam. Akatsu and Yuji on B trying to hold it down as hatch opens up. Curious what the plan is from this 808 squad. Relatively spread out. Usually we would see a meta A push, you know, the better push of the map so far. Typically what you'll see, but that's also typically what you'll see defended because it is the most common one. Arashi again on the downstairs roam. Still downstairs, just waiting it out, trying to see what these players are going to do. Still downstairs, hearing the drop-in from these players. Arashi peeking around, may get seen by Bernardo if he goes out just in time. Big Mac repelled up on the wall. Rancho looking to push in. Info peeks in. Bernardo puts his gun down, but still takes out Arashi with a good flick up. That leaves 808 now up on a player over Wilted Rose, losing a bit of health, but still up on a player. Wilted Rose having a double point hold. Nade goes out in the back corner, will not take out Mania or Sokka. We'll give some information. However, a B rotate is being called from this 808 squad. Nade into connector. Yuji pushes out, does take out one. Stuck behind the boxes now, and Incend as well. EMP could go down relatively quickly as the rotate. Akatsu takes out Bernardo through, I believe, a corner bang, but an Incend goes down, ensuring that these Wilted Rose players cannot rotate out of their own connector. Now, 45 seconds at most between us and the end of this round. Mania holding it down. We do see Akatsu on the flank. 3v3 from these players. Kaides needs to hold his flank. If he's not careful, Akatsu will rotate in behind him. Akatsu ready on the wall breach. Connector gets taken out by Sokka. Sorry, by Kaides. And Kaides takes out Akatsu as well, leaving 808 up 6-4 over this Wilted Rose stack. Well done overall. You see a bit of a team kill from the Kaides, from Rancho Verde onto Kaides, but maybe they're just a little bit excited. You know, you do see it occasionally. Now, this is somewhat rough for the Wilted Rose stack. They're down on 2 rounds. 808 has guaranteed themselves overtime, which means, you know, that is a new addition this season. If you haven't been listening, if you haven't been here over the course of the season, we have overtime now, where if you're tied up, you instead play another round that will allow you to decide who is the winner rather than having a big tie on the VRML website. So we will see a victor. Wilted Rose right now would have to win 3 rounds in a row to get this map off, which is definitely not unheard of. It's definitely not. We saw that even more so on, I believe it was Valor versus Acer last week, where Valor was down a few rounds and they clutched it back to win the map, which is fantastic to see. You know, it's great gameplay. Acer just barely couldn't get it out. Yuji and Mania holding down on Garage as Yuji does get live pinged out by the drone. Kaides pushes in but gets taken out regardless as Yuji pushes up towards blue box. Mania still on back corner trying to take out another. Incend goes down that lands on something. Akatsu takes out Bernardo, who was trying to hit the hatch, I believe. Oh, no. Some fantastic headshots, and as well as a nade will secure the kill onto Aaronites. It is Rancho and Big Mac against a Rose 5 stack. Not a situation you want to be in. And again, we're seeing these teams trade players back and forth. They get a kill, they go down. They get a kill, they go down. Front door going down. Rancho trying to get some good peeks off. May get seen by the player on stairs. Nade goes out to his feet. Pushes down. He does hold on to a Vezin. Big Mac takes on one with a Marui. Minute 20 on the clock. 2v4 instead of 2v5. Not a bad situation to be in. Still very clutchable. I think they are anticipating a rotate on 808 that may be sorely mistaken. On Wilted Rose, rather, as 808 is still sticking to Garage. Pre-fires onto the bench from Big Mac, trying to ensure they won't get seen. We're seeing the rotate from Mania. Now, Prox goes down. Mania is up, takes down one, gets taken out by Rancho, but that ensures a 1v3 for Rancho Verde, which is a rough situation to be in, especially getting pushed from 2 angles. As Arashi is coming in from the outside of Garage. Sokka as well looking to come in as Akatsu does wallbang a bit. Rancho taking down, hoping to take down Arashi. Barely can't get it off. That reveals his position to still be on Garage as well. Arashi hearing the repel is now back in Piano. Rancho could just save this Vezin in order to buy one for his teammate Aeronite, which might be just a good idea. If he can just save up on the roof, or at least save in the corner, maybe a good idea. While we wait on that, looks like we will be seeing a save. Scoreboard-wise, 14-7 for Rancho Verde 2.0 KD, 16-9, nearly 2.0 for Yuji Itadori. Well done overall on these two teams. Wilted Rose claiming their 5th round of the map and getting themselves one step closer to that overtime. If they can win this round, they have pretty good economy to get it done, other than Mania having to go down to an Aril as well as Sokka. Overall, they have relatively good economy. If they can get it off, they'll be able to get to OT, and I'll have to take a look at it. It looks like score-wise, 808 would most likely still get to choose their side. I believe they would probably choose defense. They had a good few rounds on defense. They got it off in the end. They may choose offense with even economy. Right now, on paper, 808 looking pretty favorable with their additional rifle over Wilted Rose, as well as with the 2 Maruis, 2 Vezins. It's a good spread rather than only Vezins. Vezins are currently meant for CQB. They're for close quarters battle, right? You need to get up and close and personal. They have a good fire rate, good headshot damage from close distance. They're great. Maruis are more for longer distance engagements or for shooting through walls or other such things. So you want to have a good spread on your team. Hopefully Drone sees the trip mine. I'm not sure if the drone saw the trip. It did see the trip. It just didn't quite hang it out. Storage is clear, allowing Wilted Rose to know where 808 is. However, they did not hold any ground. Mania takes out one almost through the smoke, but barely was able to see him. Arashi putting some gunfire downrange. Arashi stuck in the corner with a nade. Does get taken out by Bernardo. Mania with a steady hand on the RCP takes down Aeronites. 4v3 for the 808 squad. Favoring Wilted Rose. 808 trying to recover the play a bit. They do have a good amount of health to work with. They do have EMP still on Big Mac, but they would have to get into the point. That clone projector is well placed on the Wilted Rose squad because it'll draw some fire from the 808 squad. Smoke goes down. Big Mac could go in and plant right now, but it looks like he's just waiting. That smoke is just going to really not draw a lot of fire. Yuji up on the box will most likely open up the window. Kaides has his gun down. Kaides has his gun down, but takes out Yuji accidentally through the window. Akatsu rotates out through connector. Fantastic A-rotate from these 808 players, turning a loss into maybe a win. If they can just hold down A, Mania on connector able to rotate out. Kaides is not watching it. Mania ready. Pushing around. Gun down. Kaides pushes out, takes down one. It's just Sokka against the 808 3-stack. Sokka looking to push up from the outside of his own point. Door blocker is down, which will give 808 some good cover. It's a good thing they didn't shoot it out. Bernardo in wine cellar. Kaides is going to hear the door blocker go down. Door blocker goes down. Kaides has his gun down, but takes out Sokka, and that will be 7-5 for 808, winning them this map. Well done to the 808 stack. Wilted Rose just barely couldn't get to that OT. Hopefully we'll see it on the next map. Well done on both sides. We'll be back shortly with map 2 of this exciting matchup after a short ad break.
Only Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody's
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Breachers VRML. We're back after an exciting map 1 between Wilted Rose and 808. 808 managing to win it out 7-5 on Hideout. Ready to get into our map 2. I want to take a quick look at the matchup page. I'm guessing it's going to be Factory, and it looks like it will be. Before we transition to that, though, Factory is Wilted Rose on paper. However, Hideout was also Wilted Rose on paper, so maybe we'll see 808 give us a surprise overall with their win rate. Heading into our map Factory, we see 808 on defense for the first round. We see Wilted Rose on offense. Can they get this off? Wilted Rose needs to get this round win, this map win, rather, in order to give themselves a continuing run in the series. If they do lose the map, that's it for this matchup. They will be going down, and I believe 808 will be going up in standings most likely, as this is a pretty wide range in elo. Getting ready to get started. 808 on defense. Rose on offense. Spread out on Wilted Rose, most likely going for the Tetris play, going down into the hatch, into the back hallway, and taking out anyone on Rome. Big Mac and Aaronites, indeed, on Rome. Utility on Wilted Rose, pretty equal to 808. Big Mac does take down the drone, pushing back into lockers. Some wall bangs from 808, trying to just probe out this offense on Wilted Rose. Big Mac on back hall, may take out Akatsu, as Akatsu has his gun down, does take him out, but Big Mac is taken out by Sokka on lockers as they push down in. Aaronites ready on the cubby, may try to take out Mania. Mania gets the wall blown, Aaronites just waiting on the wall. If wall goes down, Aaronites may try to rotate out. EMP gets thrown over by Arashi. Wall getting ready, Aaronites ready on the breach. Ready in the corner as the secondary A-wall may blow. He's now stuck as Yuji pushes straight around. Neither of these players seeing each other. Aaronites takes out Sokka as he pushes in. Now it's just Mania who's stuck on the incendiary. Barely doesn't get taken out, but he has no stim to help him. Now has to do a 1v3. Rancho waiting in the corner. Mania doesn't know where he is. Rancho ready on the lead peak, but does get taken out. Mania now fighting 2 players with basically even health to him. It's all going to come down to who can get the first shot off in the engagement. None of them are surviving a shot at this point. They just need to get one hit off. It's one in the chamber for Mania. Heidi's and Bernardo can work together. They need to play their numbers to get the refrag. If they play separately like they are now, it might not work out, as they're giving Mania one-on-ones right now in this matchup. Mania has been identified in their location. For a smoke into the back hall. Kitey's rotating through on connector over. Bernardo and Kitey's are still separated. They could just wait for the EMP to start going down. Mania throwing a nade into lockers. Does not know if there's someone in lockers. And Bernardo takes out Mania, giving 808 pistol round on Factory. There was nearly a clutch from Mania. However, Wilted Rose loses out that round. 808 gets it off, and that'll be a fantastic pickup for them on their first round. Now, again, we've talked about this almost every time we go into this second round. I need to see Wilted Rose getting this round off in order to prevent the snowball from the 808 squad. If Wilted Rose can get this off with their meager economy, they do have enough to get SMGs around all of them. They do have enough to buy up, and I think in this case, that's what they need to do. If they keep the Spectrals on Yuji and Sokka, it might not work out unless they're very confident in their SMG build. Meanwhile, Wilted Rose going for a bit of an odd strategy for this floor. Typically, you'd see people going for the A hatch upstairs. You'd see them going around checking their flank, going in from this door. Wilted Rose instead going in on assembly. Bernardo ready to hold it down, pushes back in, probably not expecting anyone to go through assembly. Meanwhile, we have a 5-stack on assembly. Mania up on the, looks like the top ceiling hatch. Yuji and Arashi pushing in through meeting room. Sokka and Akatsu waiting as well. Rancho and Bernardo hoping to hold down in War Room as Yuji peeks out. Does nearly get taken down. Drone goes down as Mania pushes up towards War. These 808 players clearing out of War Room as Akatsu nearly gets shot at. Mania still holding down War Room. Arrow Knights pushing back towards the rest of his team. Saka and Akatsu stacked up. We do see the long flank from Bernardo trying to get any hits he can. Checking downstairs just in case as Arrow Knights pushes up towards him. Wilted Rose already down a minute on their timer. They're going to have to do something drastic. Get inside the points at this point. Bernardo is on flank. May take out one. Arashi has his gun down. Bernardo peeks around but gets seen by Mania. Gives up the flank, goes straight back to the point. Probably a good idea. Museum push looks likely from the Wilted Rose players. Yep, they're pushing up. Bernardo is on the flank, looks to peek in, but gets taken out, giving his team valuable information. As we do see Big Mac and Kites holding down the point. Flank from Arrow Knights will get him taken down, but not before he can't take down Sokka. 4v3 for these Wilted Rose players. Kites trying to take down one from Connector. Nade goes out. Akatsu takes out one. Nade will roll into the back corner as Yuji pushes up towards Connector. Gets taken down. Rancho takes down another. At this point, EMP plant just needs to go down for these players. Kites going for the roam. Akatsu trying to take out one Connector. May distract him long enough as Rose pushes through Connector. Kites pushes through War Room. Repel goes out for Akatsu as Rancho checks it. Window is open. Rancho looking to push up to the room. Arashi is isolated. May get seen by either of these players. Kites gets taken out as Akatsu takes out Rancho on the window, and that will give Wilted Rose 1-1 for this map. 808 does not pull ahead just yet. It's just going to be a good result for Wilted Rose as they can start snowballing as long as they can get some rounds off. So far, these two teams have been relatively evenly matched. We've seen them trade rounds back and forth, trade kills back and forth. There's not really any front runner that is just like, oh, they're just going to win. Or, you know, oh, they're just going to lose this round or lose until they get blah. It's really back and forth, back and forth. Now we're looking to get into round 3 of map 2. Could go either way. I don't want to make a prediction at this point. Honestly, folks, it's been rough. It's been rough to try to figure out who is going to win what just because they're so evenly matched. We're seeing some drones from the Wilted Rose squad. 808 trying to hold down the points with a Marui and a Vezin. We're seeing our first rifles coming out of the matchup. And again, 808 counting on the fact that Wilted Rose will not buy up as much as they can. Wilted Rose, for all intents and purposes, could buy up to rifles if they really wanted to. They have the money for it, but they have decided not to, it seems. Arrow Knights on storage, hoping to take down the drone. Barely doesn't get it down. Rashi on the window, peeking into storage. It looks like 808 is going to be giving up a lot of ground on the storage. They have no one inside, which will give Wilted Rose as much ground as they want. They can push up, get their positioning. Rancho on flank. May get taken out by Arashi with timing as Kites takes out Sokka. Arashi takes out that window, just barely not in time to take out Rancho. Mania pushes up to get his teammates' stuff. Rancho pitching up towards the window. May see these teams have a bit of an encounter as Arashi gets leaned out on. Rancho takes out Arashi on the flank, but Mania ready on the flank watch as Rancho is stuck in storage. Already 5v4 favoring these 808 players as Mania throws out some utility hoping to even up the numbers. Yuji in, I believe, assembly. Maybe an interesting pickup, but Bernardo takes out Yuji. That leaves Mania and Bot Neil. We have a disconnect over on the Wilted Rose side at such an inopportune time as Rancho takes out Mania. It's just Bot Neil who gets taken out, and that is a flawless from the 808 players. Well done to the 808 players, not losing any of their team members, and I think Rancho possibly getting a 4K in that round. Well done. Already, Rancho Verde at 4-2 KD. Well done. 808 setting themselves up well to continue getting some rounds off. Seeing the Maruis and Vezins continue to come out on 808. Meanwhile, Wilted Rose has to buy up a little in order to get the rounds off. Bot Neil buying a Marui, which will surely get taken by one of his teammates, I would hope, unless they know their player is going to be coming back in time. Surely, though, if there is a Marui on that bot, you just kill it. But it looks like we do have updating coming in for Wilted Rose, which will have the Marui. They may buy down. They do buy down in order to keep a little bit of money. Mid-floor for Factory. Not too bad for these Wilted Rose players on offense, as long as they can get their positioning down. Updating. Coming in cold, however, may be the deciding factor for these 808 players. Arashi ready on window. Rancho waiting just outside it. Just inside it, rather. Arashi outside. Looking to rotate up to Hash, throw the foam out to his team so they can blow the hatch, most likely. Rancho has his gun down. Does hear the hit out. Rancho peeks out, takes out Arashi. That's a fantastic pickup for the 808 squad. Rancho looks to push up the stairs. Wilted Rose needs some flank watch. He needs to check these stairs. He pushes back outside, giving Rancho the exact opportunity he needs to push upstairs. Yuji on window, updating, still watching on the locker room, not realizing Rancho's on the stairs. Mania grabs the EMP from outside. Big Mac on the upstairs roam. Rancho on the downstairs to upstairs roam. Does see Mania, takes him out. That's EMP down again for the Wilted Rose side. 2 players down. Yuji looking to loot his teammate. Opens the door below. Rancho climbs out for the opportune kill. Takes out Yuji. That's a free Vezin. That is Wilted Rose down 3 members to, I believe Rancho alone. Now it is just updating and Sokka hoping to take down an 808 4-stack. Sokka may know there's one on stairs as Rancho pushes up, gets taken out. Now it's just Rancho who takes out. Updating, and that's an ace from Rancho Verde. Well done from Rancho Verde, finishing out the kill. Oh my goodness. Ace from Rancho Verde on the window, onto the rest, and now 808 is up 2 rounds, guaranteeing themselves at least an even switch. At best, a 5-1 half. It's gotta hurt for the Wilted Rose stack. They've just gone down a few of these rounds, some key points that have just brought them back a little bit. And now 808 is set up very well. They have a full buy. They have the utility they want. Wilted Rose is down now to SMGs and a couple Vezins trying to just get these rounds off. They need to have some good gameplay to finish it out. Top floor Factory. I don't know. It's not the place to do it. It's rough for the offensive side on top floor Factory. Lockers can be held. Tetris can be held. Mania looking to blow up the hatch. Big Mac and Rancho both holding down, and already a kill from Rancho onto Arashi. That's a Vezin down for the Wilted Rose side, and a player down, which is much more important. Nade goes out. Does not get any hits off. Drone gets taken down by Arrow Knight. Nade goes out again. We'll take out the clone and the door blocker. However, it's a good amount of information taken down. We do have Yuji pushing up into the back of lockers. Big Mac, none the wiser, may not check his flank. Wilted Rose, definitely not in an unwinnable position overall. 4v5, not horrible. Yuji pushing into their backline on lockers is a good plus, as well as Big Mac rotates around. Does get seen by Sokka, but does take out Mania. Now stuck in the corner, throws out a smoke. Yuji hoping to go for the flank, but Big Mac is none the wiser. Ooh, but they trade places in the smoke. Big Mac in the smoke looks to push up. Sokka none the wiser. Does get taken out. Big Mac able to rotate out, goes straight to the window, but gets taken out by updating. Now it's Yuji and updating against a 808 4-stack. Yuji takes out Rancho through the wall breach. as his flank does work out. 3 versus 2. EMP in the hands of Updating currently as Nade goes out. Updating gets hit a little bit, does get some purchases. Aeronites is stuck behind the filing cabinet. No utility on the Wilted Rose stack. They have to go in with gunplay alone. Meanwhile, 808 holds still an incendiary or two, as Wilted Rose somewhat stagnated on their push. 808 just needs to wait them out. They need to not give isolated 1v1s. We're seeing them get a little sloppy, getting shot a little bit. If they can just wait out the Wilted Rose stack. Wilted Rose is currently waiting for 808 to get sloppy. And Bernardo is doing just that. He's pushing out alone. Going for the info peaks. UG hoping to go up and plant. Updating as well, looking to push in. But Bernardo takes out Updating. UG now alone. Gets taken out by Bernardo as well. That is 808 now 4-1 over Wilted Rose. A reminder, folks. 808 had a win rate of, I believe, 46% on this map. Wilted Rose had, I believe, 70-something. It just goes to show, stats aren't everything. You know, sometimes you have unlucky days, sometimes you have unlucky matchups. And in this case, 808 being up 3 rounds over Wilted Rose, guaranteeing themselves at least being 4-2 in the side switch, or being 5-1, at maybe activating the 5-1 curse. But regardless, a great situation to be in for 808. Wilted Rose having to maybe change their plays up a little bit. They do have some rifles. 3 Vezins, 1 Aril, 2 Arils actually for the Rose stack. Meanwhile, 808 sticking with their mix of Vezins and Maruis. Typically a good thing to do. They have 3 Vezins, 2 Maruis, 2 long range, 3 close quarters. Wilted Rose forming up on assembly yet again. You would think 808 would put a few more players out into assembly just to make sure, as we did see Wilted Rose push in from here before. It looks like 808 is not expecting it. Not many people in assembly for 808. We do see Wilted Rose pushing up uncontested. There's no proximities, there's no trips or nothing. However, we do see 808 getting a little bit suspicious as storage doesn't open up. UG pushing around downstairs. Wilted Rose checking all of their corners as Aeronites may hear the wall get foamed if the foam does go down. A push seems likely from Wilted Rose as they push in towards this outside wall. Foam is going to go down. They decide not to foam it, actually. However, we do see Big Mac up on hatch, not see anyone. Very quiet push in from Wilted Rose. Sokka and Arashi looking to push up. All corners being checked just in case, as Aeronites just needs to be patient. His gun barrel is showing. Now pushes back. There's no sound cues so far. Oh, they do fire a shot, which gives Aeronites some sound cues, and Rancho pushes around, takes out Sokka. Updating pushing through as well, but UG takes out Big Mac. Aeronites can just wait. Aeronites does not need to... Ooh, Aeronites sees one, takes out Arashi. Trying to take an Updating as well. Nade goes to his feet, pushes through the door blocker. Gets stuck on the door for a second, but is fine. Updating still on blocker. Aeronites takes out himself as he tries to take out one of the enemies and shoots his teammates. UG gets taken out. Now it's just one player. Updating against a 3-stack of 808 players. Not sure where the other is. Clone on the other side of Factory is going to be a good setup. Now Updating alone, having to work with what they have. A latecomer to the match. They don't have a lot of chemistry so far, or a lot of ideas on what the other team is going to do, which will not work in their favor. Especially as Rancho Verde does heal up. Kaidi's waiting, Updating, just trying to get an isolated 1v1. Kaidi's pushes out, gets taken out by Updating as Updating looks to push in. Cloaks up, but Rancho sees to push in and takes out Updating. That is 808 moving on to the side switch. 5 rounds to 1 round on Wilted Rose. What a fantastic pickup for 808, and Wilted Rose now being down so many rounds, even if this is their strong side, it's going to be rough for them to pick it up. Obviously, it is doable. We've seen it happen before, like I said. However, might be interesting to see if they can. Updating to a little bit of the Macarena. Just figuring out what they want to do, I guess. Being a little bit excited. 808 now looking to push in. Most likely it's going to be a Tetris push towards A. B is unlikely to me, honestly. Bring down the scoreboard. We can see the economy. A Taurus in the hands of Yuji. A Cyclone in the hands of Mania. Meanwhile, all Spectrals over on the 808 side trying to just no-nonsense their way through it. Sokka waiting behind vending. May get naded out, honestly. Arashi hoping to protect them. Or at least push up with them. Comes down to this round. Can 808 secure the 6-1 or Wilted Rose pick up their second round of the map? Rancho might get taken out. Sokka behind the vending is now stuck as their players know he's there. But however, Rancho pushes up without a care in the world and gets taken out, giving Wilted Rose their first pick of the round already as Big Mac up on hatch. We do see Mania in lockers up on the countertop, which may give them a good angle on Aeronites as they look to push up the stairs. Hatch drop. Drone does not get taken down from Yuji. Will give Mania. Mania does get live pinged. Aeronites looks to push in. Mania is distracted by the drone. Gets taken out by Aeronites. And now, looks like 808 controls lockers. But Sokka takes out one. Arashi takes out Sokka with their own nade. 3v3. Aeronites on B point. Bernardo and Big Mac on A. Aeronites just waiting on lockers for a flanker, most likely. EMP is down in A doorway. I believe Wilted Rose knows that. Aeronites somewhat stagnant in lockers. He needs to do something if he wants to help his team. Currently, there's not much happening. Minute 20 on the clock. There is some time. A B rotate seems likely from the 808 players, as we do see Big Mac rotating around towards his teammate, possibly. They know there's one in the back corner, but Big Mac looks to rotate around. Yuji ready on B. Here's the wall foam. Wall blows as Yuji looks to rotate behind the bomb. EMP goes down. Yuji with the instant headshot. Takes down one. Gets taken out by Big Mac. Arashi ready to respond. And unfortunately, Big Mac goes for the plant rather than clearing himself out. And that is Wilted Rose getting their second round of the map. Additionally, now, this is a bit of a superstition in the Breachers community, but the 5-1 curse. We've seen it happen before. Team goes up 5-1 and then proceeds to lose the rest of their rounds. Can 808 break the cycle, or will Wilted Rose claim these next few rounds to get back to an even tie? Pistol round claim from Wilted Rose is very important, as they'll be able to have a good amount of economy. We see them trying to capitalize off of it as Sokka actually picks up a Cadillo rather than just a SMG, trying to get as many picks as they can. Meanwhile, 808 sticking to pistols, possibly saving quite a bit. Not buying a lot of utility, not buying a lot of anything. They just have a frag and then pistols overall. A Taurus on Big Mac, but not much else. They're trying to go for a bit of an economy round, which will be capitalized off of by the Wilted Rose stack, as they do have quite a bit of economy going for them. Ready to get into it as updating, ready on the stairs. 808 looking to push in, doing the standard play I talked about before, pushing in towards the A hatch. Arashi up on the countertop. Yuji downstairs may go for a bit of a rotate in. 808 all the way inside now as Arashi pushes around to his teammate Mania. 808 currently could push straight in if they really wanted to. However, what team would? Mania ready on the back of Kitchen. Getting some info peeks in. His wall looks about to be foamed as well. Wallbangs go out as Prox goes off, updating, throws out a nade. Arashi takes out Rancho with a fantastic nade. That brings it to a 5v4 favoring Wilted Rose. 808 trying to get some purchase on these points as Mania does go AFK, unfortunately. Arashi throwing out some utility may slow down the play from 808 a bit, as Kites does take a little bit of damage. Not too much happening on either side. Just trying to probe each other's offense and defense. Aeronites on stairs may get taken out by Yuji as Yuji pushes out. Yuji trigger discipline. Does not take him out until he notices. He's still hidden on stairs. Big Mac will get flanked out. Oh, but the climbing from the window will reveal his position. Yuji pushes up, gets taken out by Big Mac. 2v3 favoring Wilted Rose. They still have a fantastic position currently. Big Mac takes out Sobraj. Now it's Sokka versus, well, Sokka and updating versus Bernardo and Big Mac. 50 seconds left on the clock. Bernardo pushing up, may flank out Sokka. Sokka is none the wiser that there's someone straight outside the door from him. Bernardo needs to check his corner. Big Mac could put down the EMP to distract him. Bernardo does get taken down by Sokka. Big Mac could plant while Sokka runs away. Updating checks it out. Does get taken out. It's Big Mac going for the plant. Hopefully he stands up and takes out Sokka. Sokka doesn't know where Big Mac is. Sokka stands up, but gets taken out by Big Mac on the corner bang. That's 808, guaranteeing themselves overtime. That's the second time Wilted Rose has gone down a player. It's really unfortunate for them. And now we're seeing Wilted Rose with their back against the wall, hoping they can put up some good rounds. We've seen teams clutch it out here before. They go down a good bit of rounds, their back is suddenly against the wall, and they lock in, right? They focus up quite a bit. Daunting task ahead of Wilted Rose to get this off. We see a Knut coming out from bot Sobraj. Arashi most likely looking to take out the bot if they can help it. Hopefully we see a player coming in for Wilted Rose, as being down a player on almost the last round is not a good situation to be in. It looks like we did see a DC, possibly loosey-goosey, disconnecting. It all comes down to this. Can Wilted Rose get their defense off, or will 808 claim the 7-5, 7-2 victory over Wilted Rose? We'll see. Aaronites picking up a Knut for their side in return for the bot Knut. Yuji Itadori and Sokka both holding down storage. Not quite sure where the push-in from 808 will come. Storage door open. Sokka going for the pre-nade. Nade goes out straight to Aaronite's feet. Aaronite pushes straight in. Does get taken out. Lucky for this Wilted Rose stack. Unfortunately, they do get killed in return by Kaides pushing in with the Marui. Kaides foaming up the wall. Sobraj still standing in the middle of the point with the Knut. Might get a good drop shot off, as we have seen bots do so before. I've seen it quite a few times in the off-season scrims. Sobraj on storage does get taken out by Big Mac. It's Sokka looking to take out another. Arashi and Sokka stuck behind the bomb as a static goes out into the back corner. Kaides pushing in, seeing the connector. Kaides info peeking it out. Sokka and Arashi hoping to take him down as Rancho's stuck in the corner. Big Mac still can't get the plant down. Good positioning for Wilted Rose, covering each other's cross angle as updating is still watching from A point. They just need to stall for a minute 30 or take down these players one at a time. Kaides foaming up a wall will put a thorn on their side as updating hopes to hold them back. Updating takes down Kaides. That's a good pickup, but Big Mac takes out Sokka in return. Rancho on a wall, maybe unsuspecting Arashi in connector. Big Mac looking to push up. Oh, the info peak will take out updating, and Arashi gets taken out, giving 808 the 7-5, 7-2 victory over Wilted Rose in this matchup. And unfortunate, as Mania from Wilted Rose just got back. That is really unfortunate for their stack. However, we do see 808 being the series winner tonight. Well done to 808 winning this matchup against Wilted Rose. On paper, they were definitely not favored to win. You know, we saw them not do super well against some of their matchups. They joined the season relatively late. So they went against some teams. But they get a Wilted Rose. That's a good up for them, and they'll be able to move on to some future rounds. Well done overall. I want to see some fantastic gameplay from them in some future ones. We saw 808 pick up some good rounds. Wilted Rose as well pick up some good rounds. Before I sign off for the night, I want to talk about these two teams that some fantastic utility. However, I want to see some good offensive smokes. Throwing out some smokes to deny vision from their enemies would be a really good thing for them, because some long angles cause the downfall of Wilted Rose occasionally as they let the flanks come up. You know, the flank watch was lacking on both sides. I think in the future, both teams could benefit from having a dedicated flank watcher, which is what we see in a lot of higher level play. Just, you know, for the future, I'd be excited to see some flank watch on these lower level matchups, and I hope to see it. Now, before I sign off for the night, I do want to give a quick thanks to our sponsors. First of all, Triangle Factory, the creators of this wonderful game, Breachers, the creators of the Spectator client that I'm showing you the Breachers gameplay on. It's been fantastic to work with them overall, and it's been fantastic to talk with a company who really enjoys working with their community, with their partners, and everything in between. They have contributed to the VRMLCon 2025 prize pool for Phoenix, Arizona, $5,000 for the top winner in that bracket, as well as they have created the wonderful VRML skins. You can pick up the VRML official skin in the store right now in the armory inside Breachers, as well as they have the finalist skins, which you are granted only as a VRML finalist, nowhere else. I also want to thank HyperX, the fantastic premier company for your gaming needs. You have headsets, you have headphones, you have mics, you have everything in between that HyperX can provide with top quality sound for the industry. I hope you all reach out to them. We have a discount code in the description. So it's fantastic to work with them. They have been a fantastic sponsor of VRML for a good amount of time. As well as ProTube, the fantastic peripherals for your headset and controllers. They have stocks and everything in between to help you improve your gaming experience. It's been fantastic working with them as well. Finally, I want to thank one of our most important sponsors, you, the viewer. Without you watching, we couldn't keep these streams going. We couldn't keep the lights on. It's been fantastic to bring you the Breachers gameplay that we so enjoy and that we hope to bring to you and let you enjoy as well. These teams could not do the gameplay they do, could not get the recognition they do without you all in the community. So thank you very much for watching. It's been fantastic having you here on the stream. It's been fantastic having you here just supporting these teams play and supporting the cast overall. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. We'll see you all on the next cast on the VRML network for Breachers VRML or any of the other games we offer. Tune in on Saturday and Sunday for some of our casts for the Orion Drift VRML, the Pioneer Cup for Orion Drift, the premier tournament that will be coming up. I hope to see you all there. Good night.
VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.